Sustainable Ocean Alliance and the Oxygen Project brought together some of the top minds and experts to talk about the importance of protecting the deep sea from the imminent threat of deep-seabed mining.
The greatest challenge, environmental challenge of the 21st century is protecting the oceans, because that's how you protect the Earth, and the Earth protects us. I always reject the notion when there's this argument that says the age of exploration is over. No, the age of new exploration is just begun.
It's just like science fiction, but it's the reality.
Just because you can't see it or eat it doesn't mean it's not an important part of our planet. The deep sea is something that needs to be taken care of and managed very carefully in the coming years.
By communicating the beauty and majesty of these systems, their importance to the natural world, to global biogeochemical cycles on this Earth, we're making people fall in love with the ocean.
We were able to explore the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park and the Coral Sea Marine Park, making new discoveries of black corals, fish species, and all kinds of incredible, wonderful, and brightly colored organisms. And then on October 20th, we were shocked to find a 500-meter reef in the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park that was the first to be discovered.
What we do know is that there's still a lot to discover below 200 meters. We still know that there might be a coral with some special enzyme that might hold the secrets of the cure for cancer. There might be species that are important for regulation of temperature or absorption of carbon. We just don't know.
As an African, as an islander and a young person, I believe this moratorium will give us the time to make informed decisions. It will also allow the International Seabed Authority's decision-making process to be more accountable, transparent, and inclusive.
Deep seabed mining presents an attractive option for government that wants to continue to grow, but like fossil fuel extraction, presents severe threats to our national economy and way of life, as well as natural environment. Thus, they cannot be considered sustainable or even equitable.
Companies interested in exploring the Cook Islands for seabed minerals met today with the government agencies and NGOs.
The Seabed Minerals Authority officially launched the opening of licenses to explore the polymetallic minerals in the Cook Islands EEZ.
Are we going to be okay with not being able to undo these impacts? Are we really okay with that?
I'm still gonna be here like 20, 30, 40 years. What's it gonna be like then? Like, we expect there to be more research before any actual action is happening.
But the problem is you make a mistake and you lost it all. You know, you're not gonna get those minerals replaced. So you have one go at this, you gotta get it right at the beginning.
We call on Pacific leaders to join the growing rank of governments, scientific authorities, civil society, and global leaders and indigenous groups all over the world, opposing the rush to mine the ocean floor, and in doing so, destroy our common heritage.
A 10-year moratorium is the minimum that you would need to learn about the deep ocean and adequately protect the environment from mining.
For me personally, there's just currently so many uncertainties associated around seabed mining, right from the potential impacts that would have to the economic side of things as well. What's to say we will receive these economic benefits that everyone has been talking about? Who will really win from an industry such as this?
And I think hopefully industry and other governments make it harder to just act without knowing. I think it's about informed decisions. Yeah. If people are able to have informed decisions, we are going to get somewhere.
The most important thing that we extract from the ocean is our existence. If the ocean is in trouble, we're in trouble. We can see it, we can measure it. It connects directly to climate. It connects directly to the diversity of life.
that's going to be run. One of the first female presidential candidates, Veronica Mendoza, in Peru. She has in her agenda, and the environmental agenda, a 10-year moratorium for deep seabed mining. That's the way we're doing it. First, we were really scared when mentioning the obstacles that you talked about.
The campaign that the Sustainable Ocean Alliance and the Oxygen Project are launching is, for me, a huge catalyst to change and to mobilize the greater public.
But I think when we talk about intergenerational, we also need to talk about interclasses, interdifferent ways of life. We need to talk to the people that are in the jungle rainforest that know how to live with the artisanal fisheries that we young people don't usually speak to.
And that if we start leaving some of these places, allow the old growth forests to stay intact, if we allow marine systems to not be harvested or certainly overly harvested, there will be huge benefits to jobs, to humanity, to their fellow creatures in the ocean and in the forest over time. And I think what we need is a real deep mental shift away from the idea of all natural products are just there for us to harvest. That's their value. That's where we're wrong in the first place.
What can we learn that will really benefit us and enable us to make peace with the natural world and maybe among ourselves, to treat all of it with dignity and respect, and respect what others have to say, what they think, listen to them. And I wholeheartedly endorse the 10-year moratorium, at least, and wholeheartedly endorse protecting 30% of the ocean and the land, at least. But don't stop there. We have to think about taking care of what each of us can do every day. Use your superpower of knowledge and use it to take care of the natural world that takes care of you.
You know, citizens have spoken. We don't want to embark on another destructive industry. The second thing to realize is that we don't need it. This is where we decide that we want to redesign our products so that they are less wasteful and are less polluting. You know, at the moment, if we look at most of our production cycles, it's about taking and making and wasting, causing more unnecessary harm to our planet. Because at the end of the day, we only have one planet and it is finite. Why start an industry that science knows is not going to end well for us? Why embark on that? You know, why not invest in the infrastructure that can recycle what we already have out there, invest in the technologies that are showing promise, and innovate our way out of this crisis?
You know, taking action on the personal level really helps you overcome this anxiety and, you know, this idea that this issue is so overwhelming.
I applaud the organizers of this event for banding together to defend the deep. We must all do everything we can and fast to protect the ocean's biodiversity and its ability to be one of our greatest allies in fighting the climate crisis. You know, in our hubris, we humans avoid thinking about the fact that our ability to live on this planet is dependent on carbon dioxide, and which remains stored in the deep sea sediment for thousands of years when the animals die and sink to the bottom. Most importantly, half of the oxygen we breathe comes from the oceans, specifically from phytoplankton. Oxygen-producing phytoplankton are being degraded by the acidification of ocean water caused by burning fossil fuels. We're playing Russian roulette with our ocean. I urge all of you to sign and get your friends and colleagues to sign the official letter to the UN and the ISA calling for at least a 10-year moratorium on deep-sea mining in line with the UN Decade of Ocean Science. Thank you.
Join Sustainable Ocean Alliance and the Oxygen Project as they call for a 10-year moratorium against seabed mining by signing their petition at the link in our bio.